Hello, battlefield heroes. It's long overdue for a tutorial commentary, and this one I think you'll find is perhaps quite helpful. Regrettably, this is filmed late at night, so I cannot speak for the level of these people. Only so that I felt that my team by itself could not have much of a chance if I did not stay. And as you'll see, that doesn't turn out very well. But RPG aiming is a finicky science, to say the least. You might notice that at longer ranges it becomes an inexact science at best. And that is what we strive for. The RPG, the shotgun blast, the perfect aim. That's what it's all about. I didn't have frenzy fire, and I think if I had it, it might have been a bit better. But as you can see, the trick with the RPG, I use it in all sorts of different ways. Slayer, killing spree, running riot. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, the Swarmer is an ugly gun, and I do not like it. In any case, as far as tricks for aiming the RPG goes, if you're rocket jumping, the lower you go on the wall, the farther you will go. Crouching makes it easier to line it up. It does not mean that you go farther. When you get really good, you can start RPGing off of things and shooting shotguns. And if you get high enough, occasionally even a second rocket. But you know, that shit's hard. Anyway, if you couldn't already tell, I've become quite proficient. Well, I've been proficient with the RPG for some time, so that really isn't saying much. But once you get, the trick is playing on a low enough sensitivity and then training yourself to periodically, or not to periodically, training yourself to understand the nuances of your sensitivity and how exactly it is that's going to stuff like that. And then once you've mastered the RPG, I've done tutorials before on rocket jumping, and this actually is a pretty good gameplay for illustrating that because it's almost a clinic. Twerp with a grenade launcher can go die in a pit. Doesn't really matter. Also, contrary to popular belief, you can jump off of the ground with a rocket. It just requires a certain amount of finesse and skill. Much the same way that anything else does. Let's see here. Shout out to some folks in the chat for inquiring about my channel. I always find it very pleasing when people do that, so thank you guys. You people, Chaos, Bronze, and God of War, both of you. Thank you. Nice little wave. Unfortunately, I think we got a little cocky here, and I did a little bit. When I started filming this, it was with the intention of doing fancy things with the RPG, so I didn't stay in combat very often, which is not good, certainly. Which I think might have been. It also, my team was not very good, so. And as most players will know, there's only so much you can do before you just have to call it a day and say your team is shit. So, that said, every once in a while you'll have people that just make aiming just so easy, like that guy and the guy before him. Playing without frenzy fire is difficult. As far as aiming the RPG in combat, though, the trick, generally speaking, is to put the... Oh, I'm proud of this, actually. Let's all take a moment to appreciate the dodge. Even though I botched that keg. I set it up for teammates to finish him off, which is just as good, because as long as somebody's getting him, then we're doing okay. Anyway, as far as RPG aiming goes, the general rule is between the bottom and second bar on the little reticle there. So you can see pretty clearly that the bottom one is solid white, the upper ones are not as much. So that's generally where you want to aim. Generally. You don't really need to take my word for it, though, because you can just watch this gameplay and see how it pans out and how my aiming works. Not a lot of good decision making here. I was constantly getting ganked. That is one way you can rocket jump off the ground. I just did it to get him up in the air and away from me. So every once in a while too, you'll throw a keg and you'll realize that you actually want the keg to sit there and cook, basically, for lack of a better term. So, this game was very frustrating for me because it was populated. My team was mostly commandos, which are all well and good if you're good with them, and if you're not, then you're the worst liability your team can possibly have. All I had here was a back scratcher. And I'm not actually sure what the last one was, but it's just as well. Unfortunately, here we have a bit of a black spot in the rendering, which is sad because I did some aerial acrobatics. Oh, that was very annoying. Someone's internet fucked me over. And I died. Currently my score was 18-5, which is pretty good. And then, you just gotta... Every once in a while you just need to clear people out of your space, and RPG aiming in close range is a little bit... it doesn't take as much skill because they're right there, but still quite annoying. I am sorry to say that I'm responsible. I believe that I am the last death. But I get to kill him, so at least that's something. If that had gone more, then... Oh.